The killer strangled her with a rolling pin and left a half-eaten cookie beside her body. VHS glitch overlay, distorted footage of Margot's bakery counter. A mixing bowl still full of lemon batter. Spoon untouched. Rolling pin fallen to the floor, flour like smoke in the air. A synth note swells, then abruptly cuts to silence as the title fades in. Margot holding a piping bag, smiling behind the counter. Margot LeBlanc was the kind of woman who remembered your coffee order, even if you'd only been in once. Double shot, half-sweet oat milk, no foam, she'd ask, before you even opened your mouth. She owned Margot's Oven, a brick-front bakery tucked at the corner of Main and Elm in Hartwell, Louisiana. Population 3,004. Margot made it 3:05 until the morning of October 12, 2022. Every Tuesday, like clockwork, she baked lemon pies for the town. Not because they were bestsellers, they weren't, but because that's what her mother used to bake after Sunday Mass. It became her ritual, her tether to something calm. And every time she made them, she licked the spoon before pouring the batter into the crust. It's good luck, she told kids from the school across the street. No spoon lick, no pie magic. The local PTA adored her. The city council ordered cakes from her for every function. And every year, she ran a free baking workshop at the shelter downtown. She wasn't just the lemon pie lady. She was a cornerstone. But the thing about cornerstones, they don't scream when they start to crack. Half-iced tray of cookies cooling beside a ticking wall clock. It was a Wednesday morning when the first trimmer hit. October 12. The door to Margot's bakery was unlocked at 6:47 a.m. That wasn't just unusual, it was unheard of. The teenage delivery boy, Drew, found the door ajar. The open sign still dark, and the scent of burnt sugar thick in the air. His first thought, Margot had fallen. His second, she was dead. What he didn't know was that she had died less than 40 minutes earlier. Face down in the kitchen, next to the walk-in fridge. A rolling pin beside her, crusted with batter and blood. But something else was odd. A tray of cookies had been pulled from the oven, half-frosted, as if someone had been interrupted mid-decoration. On the floor near Margot's hand, a clean metal spoon. Not licked, not used. And next to that, a chipped porcelain teacup. Shattered. The kind Margot only used for guests. That teacup would later be revealed to contain traces of saliva not matching Margot. The crime scene was confusing. No signs of forced entry. The cash drawer untouched. Jewelry still on her fingers. And then the cookie, sitting by her elbow, half-eaten, not burned, just abandoned. It had bite marks, deep ones. And it wasn't hers. Freeze, frame from bakery security cam. Only a gloved hand is visible across the counter. Margot had enemies. Not the kind you find in city alleyways, but quiet ones. The kind who smile wide at church, then call you uppity behind your back. In Hartwell, secrets don't die, they ferment. And Margot, for all her sweetness, kept more secrets than most people knew. She'd had a falling out with the mayor just 4 months before her death. Witnesses said it happened during a town hall meeting, a casual disagreement about zoning that quickly became personal. "I'm not your problem, Clyde," she'd said. "You damn well better not be," he replied. That was caught on livestream. The clip never made it to the town's YouTube page. But others noticed a change after that. Margot stopped attending council events. She spoke in hushed tones when asked about politics. And she began locking her bakery every night, even though Hartwell hadn't had a break since 2014. Then came the glitch. The bakery had one outdated CCTV camera installed above the counter. Most days, it recorded nothing interesting, just customers' coffee, cookies. But on the day Margot died, it captured a final unsettling exchange. 5:58 a.m. Margot is seen pouring coffee into a ceramic mug. She places it on the counter. A hand reaches for it, gloved, black leather. Mail, then audio, "I kept your secret. You said that was enough." Margot doesn't reply. She simply turns toward the kitchen. 6:06 a.m. The footage glitches. Static swallows the screen. When it resumes at 6:29, Margot is already gone. What's eerie? The coffee cup disappears. The gloved hand never appears again. The customer's face, never seen. Detective Kent squinting through bakery blinds as morning light pours and Detective Arlo Kent arrived at 7:12 a.m., less than 30 minutes after Margot's body was discovered. A 19-year veteran of the Hartwell PD, he was known for his gut instincts and no-nonsense interrogations. But even seasoned cops fall for simple narratives. "We assumed it was a robbery, we were wrong," Kent would later tell reporters. The initial scene didn't scream homicide. No forced entry, no sexual assault, no defensive wounds. Her apron was still tied around her waist. The coffee mug was missing, yes, but everything else, unmoved. And then there was that half-eaten cookie. It didn't register at first. "I thought maybe she dropped it," Kent said in his deposition. Didn't seem relevant. What did seem relevant was the safe. Margot had a floor safe beneath the sink, unlocked when police found it. Inside were normal things: petty cash, bakery receipts, a watch. But a regular customer, retired accountant Jeanette Moore, told officers there had been a vanilla envelope inside just days earlier. "She showed it to me," Jeanette said. Said she kept it there in case something ever happened. What was in that envelope? No one knew, because it was gone, and no one dusted the safe for prints until 5 days later. Forensics tech staring down at the clean spoon in an evidence bag. The forensics team arrived late, 9:21 a.m. Their lab was understaffed and their gear outdated. Still, they took samples. Flour from the tiles, a single black thread from the glove, a smudge on the inside of the oven door. But many clues were dismissed as environmental. They missed something big. Twice, that chipped teacup, collected, bagged, logged, but not tested until 3 weeks later. When they finally did, it revealed traces of male saliva and an unfamiliar DNA strand. Hat DNA is still unmatched. But the molar pattern, distinct, wide, with a gap even more telling: the spoon clean, untouched. Margot never baked without tasting her batter. Her sister Lucy later told investigators she said it was her prayer. Lick the spoon, bake the piece. But the spoon that morning was spotless, as if washed by someone else. Still, police focused on the idea of a burglary gone wrong. They released a statement asking the public for tips about any suspicious strangers in the area. They didn't ask about the mayor. They didn't ask about the envelope. They didn't ask about the coffee. And they never checked the building's back entrance until it was too late. Grainy City Hall photo of Mayor Granger raising a hand mid-speech. Clyde Granger wasn't just the mayor. He was Hartwell royalty. 4th generation. His father had run the feed store, his grandfather the sawmill, and now he ran the town. But he also had a history with Margot. They dated briefly in 2002. It ended badly. No one knew why until a tape surfaced. The first of many. Detective Kent was given a flash drive 3 days after the murder. Anonymous sender. Inside were 3 files: clip 01. Mempi 4 and Margot confronting Granger about a payment, clip 2. And Forder Granger admitting to oozing city funds for silence, clip 03. Granger saying, "If anyone sees these, it'll be your funeral, not mine." That 3rd clip wasn't dated. But the kitchen tiles behind Margot, they were new. The same ones installed just 2 months before her death. Still, Kent didn't act. Could have been doctored. Could have been old audio. Nothing definitive. So Granger remained untouched, unquestioned, even as residents whispered that he was seen near the bakery just before dawn, even when a jogger reported seeing a figure ducking into the alley behind the building at 6:04 a.m. "I thought it was a delivery guy," the jogger said, "but he had a limp." Mayor's got a limp. It was all circumstantial, but it was stacking up. And then the footage glitched. The bakery's camera, outdated but reliable, had a clean feed from 7:55 to 6:06 a.m., but from 6:07 to 6:28 static, just dead air, right when Margot was killed. That glitch. It would match a very specific digital timestamp later. But we're not there yet. Digital audio waveform displayed on a forensic analyst's screen. The original bakery camera footage captured a voice. It was barely audible beneath static, but with help from state lab software, investigators cleaned it up. The final clip was only 7 seconds long, but it changed everything. "I kept your secret. You said that was enough." The audio was filtered, amplified, and then run through forensic voice print analysis software used by federal agencies. It cross-referenced every major public voice recording from Hartwell's municipal archives. Result 86.3% match to Mayor Clyde Granger. The match wasn't courtroom admissible. It fell just short of forensic certainty. But it wasn't guesswork either. Same cadence, same sibilance, same pauses, said analyst Trina Pell from Baton Rouge Forensics Division. Not a copy. It's the same speaker? When the clip was played for Margot's sister Lucy, she didn't hesitate. That's him. Clyde. He used to leave her voicemails. "I heard that tone 100 times. Mayor Granger denied ever setting foot in the bakery that day. Said he was jogging. Alone. But his voice told a different story, and so did his watch. A close-up of Mayor Granger's Fitbit dashboard with a red heartbeat spike at 6:04 a.m. Granger was a creature of habit. Every morning, wake up at 5:30, jog 2 miles. Coffee at the diner. His Fitbit tracked it all: steps, heart rate, route. That morning, the logs showed something strange. 5:53 a.m. heart rate steady at 72 BPM. Small spike, 81 BPM, 6:04 a.m. sunsurge on 1:42 p.m. 6:07 a.m. bomb flatline. 6:08 a.m. onward, no data. Battery dead. The location tag. Pings from a cellular tower less than 200 feet from Margot's oven. In other words, while he claimed to be jogging down Canal Road, his body data told another story. One of adrenaline, proximity, and silence. "That's not a jogger's heartbeat," said Dr. Raynell Cho, a digital biometrics consultant. "That's a panic spike." Something triggered a fight or flight response. Police questioned Granger about his route. He said his Fitbit battery had been dying for days. He also claimed to have called Detective Kent at 6:09 a.m. for a routine update. Problem: Kent hadn't made any public statement by that time. The 911 call from Drew hadn't even gone through yet. So how did the mayor know something was wrong? "Lucky timing," he said. "Good feeling that Fitbit battery." Died the exact second the bakery camera glitched. 6:07 a.m. That's no coincidence. That's orchestration. Side by side comparison of Margot's untouched spoon and the bitten cookie. Now it's your turn. Would YOU have spotted the lie? Drop your answer in the comments below. Here are your options: A, the unlocked safe; B, the mayor's heart rate; C, the spoon. The correct answer: the spoon. Every local knew Margot's rule: no spoon lick, no bake. She treated it like religion, like muscle memory. But that morning her spoon sat clean, dry, placed perfectly on the counter. She hadn't licked it, hadn't even used it. Because she wasn't baking for her customers. She was baking for someone else. Someone she didn't trust enough to let her guard down. That morning wasn't routine. It was a trap she set, hoping it wouldn't spring. But it did, and no one noticed the most obvious clue of all. She never started the batter. Lucy LeBlanc, speaking at a podium, holding a photo of Margot with a rolling pin taped to the frame. Lucy LeBlanc was the opposite of her sister. Where Margot was soft, spoken, and warm, Lucy was sharp, direct, and blunt in a way that only trauma can forge. She hadn't lived in Hartwell in over a decade. But when she got the call, she drove all night. She was the one who cleaned out the bakery, who packed away the mixers, the cookbooks, the lemon zest. And she was the one who found the second safe. Hidden behind the pantry's false bottom was a rusted tin cabinet. Inside, a labeled envelope with, "If I die." They lied. In Margot's handwriting, a thumb drive, a small leather bound journal with names, dates, and dollar amounts. She brought it straight to Detective Kent. She knew. Lucy told him. She knew what they were doing, and she thought the truth would protect her. But it didn't. The drive contained surveillance clips, quiet arguments, people sneaking in through the back door, whispered threats. The names listed: the high school principal, the town's comptroller, and Mayor Clyde Granger, all men, all in power, all connected to city budget irregularities and misappropriated federal grant funds. Margot had been blackmailing them, not for money, but for compliance. To protect the bakery from rezoning. She thought they'd play along forever. She thought secrets were enough. A group of women in aprons laughing during a self-defense demo, holding rolling pins instead of batons 3 months after the funeral. Lucy launched a foundation in Margot's honor, Spoonstrong, a dual-purpose nonprofit that offered self-defense classes and legal workshops for small-town whistleblowers. Its logo, a silver spoon crossed over a rolling pin. It gained traction fast. Donations poured in. Survivors from other towns began telling their stories. Within a year, Spoonstrong had chapters in 5 states. Lucy kept the bakery's sign, restored it, mounted it in her Baton Rouge office. She was baking justice, Lucy said at a press conference. She just didn't know it would cost her everything. Meanwhile, in Hartwell, a silence settled. The case officially went cold. The local paper stopped writing about it. No new arrests. No new suspects. Mayor Granger. He resigned, setting health reasons, moved to Houston, changed his number. He has never been charged, but every October 12th, someone leaves a cookie outside the old bakery. Just one. Bitten, molars wide, distinct. DNA still unmatched. But the same message every time. I'm still here. A single, bitten cookie in an evidence bag under soft, cold light. Margot LeBlanc died with no defense wounds. No screams were heard. No neighbors saw a thing. But she left clues. She left the spoon. She left the teacup. She left the cookie. Breadcrumbs. And if you follow them carefully, they don't just point to one man. They expose an entire system. A town that protected its leaders over its people. A police department that ignored forensic red flags. A culture of silence that killed a woman who only wanted to bake in peace. But the truth isn't buried in a file folder or behind a safe. It's in the routine she broke. The ritual she skipped. The pie she never made. Margot's story isn't about a murder. It's about how systems fail the quiet ones, the kind people assume will never fight back. And yet, she did. Every spoon she licked, every journal she hid, every moment of kindness, a shield. And when the shield broke, her sister forged it into a sword. The case remains unsolved, but the silence, that part's dead. Music fades to a distant, echoing heartbeat. One final synth note lingers, then fades to silence.